Family and friends, welcome to the 34th commencement ceremony of Bowling Green State University Firelands College. Our tradition is to begin and end each ceremony with Sounds of the Centennial, an original musical composition written by BGSU alumnus Rylan Nowlin. This piece was commissioned to celebrate the centennial of Bowling Green State University. Please rise and join us in honoring the May 2019 graduates. Let the ceremony begin. Ladies and gentlemen, in keeping with the significance of this occasion, we ask that you observe a few simple courtesies. First, please do not obstruct the aisles to take photographs or congratulate the graduates. A professional photographer will be taking pictures of the graduates. Second, please follow the directions of the commencement marshals and ushers. And third, please do not leave until the alma mater has been sung at the conclusion of the ceremony. At the conclusion of the ceremony, the audience is asked to remain seated for the recessional while the platform participants, faculty, staff, and new graduates recess. Once the graduates have recessed, you may join them for a reception in the North Building Student Lounge. Finally, in honor of our graduates, please turn off your cell phones. Thank you. Please join us in welcoming the faculty of Bowling Green State University. Ladies and gentlemen, Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President's Party. Members of the Board of Trustees, Provost and Senior Vice President, Dean of BGSU Firelands, our commencement speaker and the 12th President of Bowling Green State University, Dr. Rodney Rogers.
Bradkey, and I have the honor of serving as the marshal for tonight's ceremony. Please remain standing and join in singing the national anthem under the leadership of Alexandra Higadas, a Master of Musical Arts graduate. Guests, please remove your hats. Thank you, Ms. Higgidas, for that inspiring performance. Please be seated. Graduates, parents, families, spouses, partners, and friends, I have the honor on behalf of the faculty to welcome you to Bowling Green State University, Firelands College's 34th commencement ceremony. This occasion offers an opportunity to come together as a community of learners to both celebrate and reflect upon our graduates' wonderful academic achievements. For each graduate and for all of us, this is a significant day. It is now my great pleasure to present the president of Bowling Green State University, Dr. Rodney Rogers.
Thank you, Dr. Brodke. So good evening, students, families, and friends of Bowling Green State University. This weekend, at our 4 commencement ceremonies, 3 in Bowling Green, Ohio, and 1 here in Huron, Ohio, at Firelands College, we are celebrating a very momentous occasion in the lives of 2,493 graduates. So it is my privilege, though, to begin tonight's address by recognizing those who provide the leadership of Bowling Green State University. So first, let me introduce the platform party. And as I announce the names, please stand and remain standing, and I ask you to hold your applause until the end. Tonight with us are members of the Board of Trustees: Daniel Keller, Chair; David O'Brien; Jacob Smith, tonight's speaker; Joe Whitehead, Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs; and Andy Kurtz, Dean of Firelands College. Please give these individuals a round of applause. Thank you. So great universities are comprised of great faculty and mentors. They are the heart of our academic mission. Their teaching skills, research, expertise, and involvement in our students' education are the hallmarks of a BG education. And we are proud of their contributions to create, support our learning community, and we appreciate that they actively engage our students in valuable learning experiences, mentor them as professionals, and advise them in their academic and career pursuits. And so I ask the faculty members to please stand. Graduates, please recognize the faculty of BGSU Firelands. Thank you. So as we begin tonight's ceremony, I want to share a few interesting statistics about our graduates. As I mentioned, this May 2019 graduating class, there are 2,493 candidates for degrees at the 2 campuses. At Firelands, there are 94 candidates for associate degrees and 29 candidates for bachelor's degrees. 50 Firelands students have earned honors based upon high grade point average. 15% of our graduates are students of color, and 64% are women. And of those receiving a bachelor's degree, the youngest is 21 and the oldest is 60. Of those students receiving associate's degrees, the youngest is 19 and the oldest is 60. So as you can see, our graduates tonight range from the age of 17 to 60, providing the young are definitely driven, while our older students show tenacity and prove the concept that one is never too old to learn. So we're celebrating these accomplishments of a great group of graduates this weekend. And as a public university for the public good, we embrace our responsibility to serve the public. And we do this by preparing our students to live meaningful and productive lives. And the value of a Bowling Green degree you're about to receive has never been higher. We continue to be ranked as a Tier 1 university by U.S. News and World Report, and Business Insider ranks Bowling Green #1 among all universities in the state of Ohio for quality and value. At Bowling Green, we say that our students have the opportunity to belong, to stand out, and ultimately to go far. And that's more than just words. It's certainly our promise. That you're sitting here tonight illustrates to us that you've thrived at Bowling Green. You have found purpose, found and followed your passion, and you've stood out. You've embraced the unique BG experience. You're developing leadership skills throughout this journey. And as a Falcon, you've learned to think beyond the discoveries made by others and empower your imagination to shape your own future and to pursue new levels of excellence and discovery. In short, you have the knowledge and tools to change the world, changing your own world and the world around you. And this evening's ceremony signifies a new chapter in your lives, and I have no doubt that you will go far. And so I encourage you to make a difference. Make a difference in your career. Make a difference in your family. Make a difference in your alma mater. Make a difference in your nation. Make a difference in the world. Tackle messy challenges. Communicate, work, learn from diverse peers. Empower others to unleash their creativity. Take calculated risks. Don't forget, be kind. It's really important. Be kind. But also have fun. It's important to have fun. And never, ever, ever stop learning. Curiosity and learning is your key, is the future. And if you do those things, here's what I know. You will do well, but you also will do good. Graduates, congratulations. I now invite Dean Andy Kurtz to introduce our first speaker this evening. Dean Kurtz.
Thank you, Dr. Rogers. We have practiced a tradition for the last several years at BGSU Firelands, which honors the accomplishments of our graduates and gives voice to their experiences as students and members of the BGSU Firelands community. The faculty and staff nominate and select one graduating student who represents the best of BGSU Firelands, and we invite that student to address the graduating class. It is my pleasure to introduce our student speaker for the 2019 commencement ceremony, Melanie Craig. Melanie is graduating tonight with her second degree from BGSU Firelands, an Associate of Applied Science in Human Services. She earned an Associate of Science in 2017, and she is also pursuing a bachelor's degree in social work with a minor in political science from Bowling Green State University and plans to graduate in August 2019. Melanie's contributions to BGSU Firelands have been many and varied. She has demonstrated leadership and commitment through her membership in Model United Nations, her work in the Firelands Library, and her terms as Secretary, Vice President, and a 2-year term as President of Firelands Student Government. She has also attended Senator Sherrod Brown's Propel Ohio Collegiate Leadership Summit as a student delegate and represented the BGSU Firelands student body at Regional Campus Day at the Ohio State House. Please join me in welcoming Melanie Craig.
Thank you, Dean Kurtz, Provost Whitehead, President Rogers, members of the Board of Trustees, graduates, and guests. I am honored to speak on behalf of the class of 2019. Commencement is a time to celebrate not only our successes, but ourselves as we complete this part of life's journey. We all started here with our own stories, our own reasons for attending college, and we brought with us our own sets of goals and challenges. I was not ready for college when I graduated from high school, and I started my family at a young age. My oldest is graduating from high school this year. I worked as a manager in retail for more than 15 years when I realized I needed a change, not only for me, but for my children as well. After attending an open house on campus, I knew I had found where I was supposed to be, BGSU Firelands. Close to home and affordable, this would be my home for the next 5 years. In those 5 years, I have seen changes around our campus that have made me proud to be a Falcon, including the addition of the new wing in the North Building, Allied Health and Nursing Wing in Mylander Hall, and the groundbreaking of the new building in Sandusky for the Resort and Attraction Management degree program. Being a college student is tough enough. Being a non-traditional college student with a blended family had its separate challenges. Studying for exams and completing assignments at track meets, basketball games, and wrestling matches were the new norm for me, and I was determined to continue both my roles as mom and as student. Without the support of my husband, my children, and my parents, none of this would have been possible, and I can't thank them enough. With the added support of my instructors, my classmates, the goals I set forth became a reality, and I am grateful to all of you. Being a student at BGSU Firelands means that you are not just a number, but a real person with a face and a name who really matters. There are so many opportunities to develop personally as well as academically, and to become involved with a variety of activities and student organizations. I chose to get involved in student government, where I served as president and had seemingly endless opportunities to learn and to do more for my own education and for the college and my classmates as well. I attended Senator Sherrod Brown's sponsored event for the undergraduate students, Propel, Ohio, where BGSU Firelands was a host college, as well as Regional College Campus Day at the State House in Columbus, where another student and I had the opportunity to speak to several elected officials about why BGSU Firelands is so great and to thank them for their continued support of higher education. Those were proud moments for me because I was able to represent our great college and what it stands for, its students. I will always remember those experiences, just as I'm sure my fellow graduates will always remember the moments that helped shape their college experience. And now it's time to continue our journeys, whether it's furthering our education in college or employment in our field. Let's always remember the experiences we had here at BGSU Firelands, the faculty who taught and inspired us, the classes that challenged us, the friends who supported us and made precious memories with us, and let us continue as lifelong learners, giving back and paying forward as we roll along. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Craig. I now invite Provost and Senior Vice President, Dr. Joe Whitehead, to introduce our commencement speaker.
Thank you, Dean Kurtz. Civic leader, congressional staffer, community supporter. Today's commencement speaker, Jacob Smith, earned an associate's degree from Bowling Green State University in 2007, as well as a bachelor's degree in political science in 2009, and a master's degree in public administration in 2011. He currently serves as a congressional staff assistant for U.S. Congresswoman Marcy Kaptur. His portfolio includes veteran services, military, IRS, and Postal Service casework. Jacob is a veteran of the U.S. Army and was deployed to Baghdad. Beyond his work in Congress, he is active in our BGSU Firelands community as a member of the Leadership Council and a member of James H. McBride Arboretum Board. Civic leader, congressional staffer, community supporter, most importantly, a Falcon. I'm honored to present today's commencement speaker, Jacob Smith. Please join me in welcoming him back to his alma mater.
Thank you for having me. Provost Whitehead, Dean Kurtz, President Rogers, trustees, graduates, and guests. Thank you for having me here tonight to offer a few of my thoughts on what it means to be a BGSU Firelands graduate and what responsibilities we have as those who have been blessed with an education. Before I start, I want to say I've always had a great interest in the incredible characteristics of our mascot, the peregrine falcon, which has been BGSU's mascot since 1927. The bird, although not the largest bird of prey, is known to be one of the most fearsome birds in the world and is fearless in the face of any competitor, even if that competitor is a larger bird of prey. The peregrine falcon can use its speed, which can be more than 200 miles an hour, to take out any prey in its sight. The ability to generate this type of speed makes the peregrine falcon, our mascot, the fastest animal on Earth. So why tell you this? Because we are falcons. Although we might not come from the largest university in the state, I can assure you the education you have received here at BGSU Firelands allows you to compete with anyone from any university, regardless of that university's size or notoriety. Do not forget, Bowling Green State University alumni are in Congress. They have been university presidents. We have been diplomats, actors, award-winning members of the press. And every now and again, a few of us can even cause miracles to happen, at least on ice. So the question must be, what can the world expect from you as a BGSU Falcon? While you think on that, allow me to say this to you. Regardless of what you accomplish, large or small, you have a continuing responsibility to humanity as a person who's been afforded an education. A word of warning, though. It can be easy to fall into the deception that just because you have been educated, you therefore have the right to use that education solely for personal gain. Or as Robert Kennedy warned us about using our education, warned us against, to follow the easy and familiar path of personal ambition and financial success so grandly spread before those who have had the privilege of an education. As Kennedy so correctly pointed out, an educated person owes the world so much more than that. It is our responsibility to push freedom's frontier and to ensure that our children inherit a better world than what we have found. In short, it must be used to produce citizens capable of changing not only our country, but the world. This is a task that history has demanded of all of those with an education. However, that task has never been an easy one to accomplish. There are those in the world today, as there have been throughout history, who wish to prevent that change. One of the ways they do this is by diminishing the importance of education, at least for the general population. They criticize those who wish to pursue a life as an intellectual, labeling them elitists. Perhaps even worse, there is an idea today of stressing the purpose of higher education only as a means to an end for employment purposes and financial gain. This is the very trap that Kennedy warned us about. They prefer this as the sole purpose of higher education, instead of using it to truly develop free citizens capable of reading inquisitively, thinking critically, and analyzing intently the issues of the day, and thus allowing people to truly become citizens that can intelligently participate in a Republican form of government where the governed can give their informed consent for those who are governing over them. In other words, as has been said before, to form a government of the people, by the people, for the people. I say this as a combat veteran myself. It is not just the military that have ensured this country's freedoms, but also the educated. Thomas Jefferson understood this link between education and freedom perhaps better than anyone when he said, if a nation expects to be ignorant and free in a state of civilization, it expects what never was and never will be. Time has proven Jefferson wise and prophetic. Those of us who have dedicated a significant portion of our lives to our own education means that we have a duty to commit ourselves to defend education for all in order to ensure that future generations are also granted the freedoms that we enjoy. For if we do not speak about the importance of education, I ask you, who will? However, obtaining an education is not simply enough to change the world. Education must be combined with two other essential ingredients. The first is action. An educated person who is not using their education to improve the world, at least in some small way, would be like a physician withholding medicine from a patient in need. The physician could and should be found guilty of malpractice. In the same way, the world needs those with an education to dispense what they have learned and put it into practice. If this is not done by an educated person, then the question must be asked, was this person even worthy of an education? How will you use your education? What actions will you take? How will you use your education to make the world a better place? Only time will answer these questions. Let us hope that time renders a favorable verdict on how we used our education, so that years from now, all of us can say with satisfaction that we were found to be worthy sons and daughters of our alma mater. I pray that all of us do. The educated's responsibility to act in the world can be fulfilled in many ways. It can be done at the local, state, or federal level. It can be as a member of a school board, or by running for office, or simply donating your time in ways that improve your community. By doing this, not only will you be helped to improve the world, but you also have the privilege of meeting good people who will help you along life's path. You might even find a funny story you can tell at a commencement speech someday. For me, it was during one of our honor flights. As we began to descend into Baltimore, the pilot came over the intercom and informed the passengers that we would be landing in about 10 minutes. That's when an old World War II paratrooper yelled out, "This plane's landing? Hell, I've never been on a plane that's landed before." But trust me, as I have learned, in the end, you will get more from giving your time and experience than you will ever know. The second essential ingredient for education to change the world for the better is character. There are many thoughts on how to define character. For us today, perhaps Abraham Lincoln's quote is most fitting. Nearly all people can stand adversity, but if you want to test a person's character, give them power. Education is a form of power, and how you use it will reveal who you truly are. Once again, as with most things, time will render a verdict. Education and character being intertwined is not a new concept. In fact, the idea and its importance is perhaps best demonstrated by a quote by Martin Luther King that states, "The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character, that is the true goal of education." For those of you who may know this quote, or at least the last part of it, know that it is forever tied to BGSU Firelands, for it is the first piece of required reading for every person that sets foot on this campus. This quote greets all who come here, students, professors, staff, and proclaims that Bowling Green State University Firelands' goal is to cultivate knowledge and character. For all who have earned a degree here today, what can the world expect from a BGSU Falcon? The answer is simple to state. However, it will require a lifetime of commitment to see through. Being a Falcon myself and having some experience in the world, I can tell you what I have found the world demands of a Falcon. The world demands a Falcon be creative and knowledgeable, especially in their chosen field, as well as to have the ability to learn and adapt quickly to their environment. A Falcon should have a developed strength of character, tempered by their education, that will guide their decision-making. Finally, a Falcon's mission is to take action, where and when needed, to improve a world that desperately cries out for informed leadership. Remember, we are Falcons. The diploma you are about to receive will allow you to compete and win against any competitor, regardless of what university they may come from, and no matter where you find yourself in the world. So go out, put your education into action, prove your character, and make this world a better place. Finally, roll on, you BG Warriors. Roll on.
Thank you, Jacob, for those inspirational remarks and sharing the wisdom. Veteran, civic leader, congressional staffer, Jacob's career certainly is exemplified by his hard work, grit, and leadership. And you know, the best part is he started exactly where our graduates are sitting today. Jacob, you're truly an example of how our alumni are driving the vitality of our world and nation. So I now invite Provost Whitehead to present our students for candidates for the degrees to be granted this evening. Provost Whitehead.
Thank you, President Rogers. Before I call upon Dean Kurtz to present our degree candidates, I would like to recognize those students who have excelled in their academic endeavors and are graduating with academic distinction and honors. This is indeed a great achievement for these graduates and their families. Bowling Green State University congratulates you for your commitment and for your success. And so I recognize the following students. There are 30 students receiving degrees with Latin honors this commencement at BGSU Firelands. To graduate cum laude or with distinction, a student must have a cumulative grade point average of at least 3.5. With those graduating with this designation of cum laude or distinction, please stand and be recognized. Thank you. To graduate magna cum laude, a student must have a grade point average of 3.75. With those graduating with this designation of magna cum laude, please stand and be recognized. Thank you. And finally, to graduate summa cum laude, or with the highest distinction, requires a 3.9 grade point average. With those graduating with this designation of summa cum laude or with highest honors, please stand and be recognized. Thank you. And now I call upon Dean Kurtz to present the candidates for baccalaureate degrees and associate degrees from Firelands College.
Thank you, Provost Whitehead. Will the marshals please escort the baccalaureate degree candidates to the stage? President Rogers and members of the Board of Trustees, on behalf of the faculty of the Firelands College and the deans of our sister colleges on the Bowling Green campus, I am pleased and honored to present these baccalaureate degree candidates and recommend them for degrees.
Shelby Elizabeth Klima, Bachelor of Science in Education. Shelby Christine Brown, Bachelor of Science in Education, cum laude. Amy Lynn Smar, Bachelor of Science in Education. Caitlin Nicole Smith, Bachelor of Science in Education, magna cum laude. Savannah R. Heiser, Bachelor of Science in Education, cum laude. Jesselyn Audra Vogt, Bachelor of Science in Education, magna cum laude. Courtney E. Johnston, Bachelor of Science in Education. Kaylee Christine Griggs, Bachelor of Liberal Studies, summa cum laude. Morgan Lee Krupp, Bachelor of Science in Education, cum laude. Caitlin Beth McCoy, Bachelor of Science in Education, magna cum laude. Bridget Ann Moriarty, Bachelor of Science in Education, cum laude. Adele L. Jameson, Bachelor of Science in Education. Andrea Nicole LeBur, Bachelor of Science in Education. Amanda Jo Faretta, Bachelor of Science in Education, magna cum laude. Claudia E. Gonzalez, Bachelor of Science in Education. Sabrina Ann Collins, Bachelor of Science in Education. Emily May Hendricks, Bachelor of Science in Education. Chelsea Lee Legg, Bachelor of Science in Education, summa cum laude. Jessica A. Burnworth, Bachelor of Science in Education. Kara Ashley Noon, Bachelor of Science in Education, cum laude. Miriam McKayu, Bachelor of Science in Liberal Studies. Dalton J. Chapman, Bachelor of Science in Technology. Grant Q. Watkins, Associate of Science, Bachelor of Liberal Studies. Beth Ann Beck, Bachelor of Arts in Communication. Zachary Allen Kleinschmidt, Bachelor of Science in Technology. Melanie Lynn Craig, Associate of Applied Science in Human Services. Carson Reed Haller, Associate of Science with distinction. Jada Kashi Jackson, Associate of Science with distinction. Amy P. Perry, Associate of Applied Business in Business Management Technology with distinction. Elizabeth A. Bond, Associate of Applied Science in Respiratory Care Technology. Chastity L. Page, Associate of Technical Study. Alessandria Justine Draca, Associate of Science. Doreen R. Parker, Associate of Applied Business in Business Management Technology. Dina Lee Mosier, Associate of Science with highest distinction. Travis Ray Morgan, Associate of Science. Ashley Pfeiffer, Associate of Applied Science and Radiologic Technology, Associate of Arts, and Associate of Science. Ryan Albert Fanner, Associate of Science. Mary Brianna Reed, Associate of Applied Science in Human Services and Associate of Science. Charnel Dion Cannon, Associate of Arts and Associate of Science. Mitchell B. Bodine, Associate of Applied Business in Computer Science Technology with distinction. Amber R. Pavone, Associate of Applied Science in Inclusive Early Childhood Education. Brianna Marie Stockmaster, Associate of Applied Science in Inclusive Early Childhood Education. Margaret Rosemary Rohrbacher, Associate of Applied Science in Inclusive Early Childhood Education. Brianna Lee Fenwick, Associate of Applied Science in Inclusive Early Childhood Education. Kayleen S. Coffin, Associate of Science. Garrett Dwayne Reiser, Associate of Applied Business in Computer Science Technology with distinction. Allison P. Stephenson, Associate of Arts. Persephone Desiree Sanabria, Associate of Applied Science in Human Services. Christopher Michael Nopool, Associate of Applied Business in Business Management Technology. Haley Nicole Merez, Associate of Science. Anthony D. Blanca, Associate of Applied Business in Computer Science Technology. Anthony L. King, Associate of Applied Business in Computer Science Technology. Jalen Lindsay, Associate of Science. Riley Noel Helmsetter, Associate of Applied Science in Inclusive Early Childhood Education. Maria Noel Hoffman, Associate of Science. Caitlin May Flounders, Associate of Arts. Ashley N. Thomas, Associate of Applied Science in Radiologic Technology. Miranda Sellers, Associate of Applied Science in Radiologic Technology. Elizabeth E. Yahim, Associate of Applied Science in Radiologic Technology, Associate of Arts, and Associate of Science. Nicole Miller, Associate of Applied Science in Radiologic Technology. Angela A. Billman, Associate of Applied Science in Radiologic Technology. Kirsten E. Dutera, Associate of Applied Science in Radiologic Technology. Michaela Jackson. Ms. Jackson's diploma will be presented by her mother, Sophia Jackson. She receives an Associate of Applied Science in Criminal Justice. Boo James Sims, Associate of Science. Bryce James Graffine, Associate of Science. Grace Ann Bias, Associate of Science. Elisa Christine Villa, Associate of Arts. Kaylin Elizabeth Welsh, Associate of Science. Abigail Ann Price, Associate of Science. Kennedy Keller, Associate of Science. Jared Planthaber, Associate of Science. Chase Schaub, Associate of Science. Sierra Ray Franz, Associate of Science. Ryan William Johnson, Associate of Science. Elizabeth Nyokla Cassidy, Associate of Science. Carly Lynn Canterbury, Associate of Science. Jefferson William Miller, Associate of Science. This concludes the recognition of the degree candidates.
Thank you, Dean Kurtz. Will all the degree candidates please rise? Chair Keller, it is my privilege to present these candidates to you. On behalf of their faculty, advisors, and deans, I hereby recommend that degrees be conferred upon them as indicated in the official program.
On the recommendation of the faculty and by virtue of the authority vested in me as chair of the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon each of you the appropriate degrees as listed in the official program with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining hereto. Baccalaureate degree candidates and associate degree candidates, this is the appropriate moment for the symbolic change of the tassel from the right to the left. Congratulations, Bowling Green State University graduates. Graduates, please be seated. President Rogers will now make final remarks. President Rogers.
Thank you. So as is Chair Keller, I am a proud alumnus of Bowling Green State University. And as I am greeting our newest alumni, let me be the first to welcome you to one of the most valuable perks, which is a supportive network of more than 183,000 alums around the globe. And I hope all of you have had the kind of experience that will cause you to tell the BG story as you begin your next journey. And so, welcome to the Alumni Association of Bowling Green State University. So we've been putting the spotlight on our graduates, which is absolutely appropriate. But there is another group that I believe we need to be honored, and it is my pleasure to do so. And so may I ask the parents, spouses, partners, and children of the graduates to please rise and remain standing. Okay? So remain standing. So remain standing. And then would anyone else who has had anything to do in assisting these graduates, would you please stand? Graduates, give these individuals a round of applause. Great. So please be seated. So as we close our 34th ceremony, please remember that Bowling Green will always be one of your homes and that you will forever be welcome here as part of the Falcon family. And so I ask you to stay engaged with both your classmates and the university that you have enriched, a university that is better because you chose to include us as a part of your education. And you know, these ceremonies, I'm reminded of a quote that appears on the stonework of the Bowen Thompson Student Union on the Bowling Green campus. And it was a quote from the fourth president of Bowling Green, Dr. Ralph McDonald. The quote is, "We are linked to this institution by invisible bonds that do not wither or dissolve." So we are linked to this institution, you and I, to this institution. We are linked by these invisible bonds that do not wither or dissolve. You see, your success is our success, and the success of Bowling Green State University is your success. We are forever linked to this institution. And so as I look at our graduates and our newest alums to Bowling Green, you know, I really see the next generation of leaders, risk takers, visionaries, big dreamers. You're going to work to solve all kinds of societal problems. I know that. And you will create public good by doing that. In short, you will ensure that tomorrow is always a better day because you're graduates of a public university. That is who we are. That is what we do. I cannot wait to see what you accomplish. I Ziggy Zumba.
We will now conclude the ceremony with a long-standing Bowling Green tradition, the singing of our university's alma mater. Led by Ms. Hegedus, the words of the alma mater may be found on the back page of your program. Please stand.
Audience members, please be seated for the recessional and remain seated while the platform participants, faculty, and graduates recess. Immediately following the recessional, we ask that you join us in the North Building Student Lounge for refreshments. Thank you and congratulations to all.